I'm back. I have this great camera, and the thing that I don't like about the camera is that it tells me when there's no space left on the memory stick. And okay, before I even begin, I'm sorry for making this such a long thing, but it's just let me get it off my chest. So where I got cut off was talking about one is I wasn't looking for anybody, and that really goes back more than since my ex left. Goes back a good chunk of my life. Nothing I can do about it now anyway, so why I'm not worried about it. And what I was about to say about Ginger was that that was the wrong thing to say because she just stopped chewing and she was going to jump up on top of me. But it's an example of my indifference to dating. When Ginger first came, when I first picked Ginger up, she was 2 months old, and she's a cute little puppy. She's now an 80-pound hyperactive dog, and I've had 2 other Irish setters prior to Ginger. Quit saying that word. And I can tell you that they're hyperactive. The first one, the first namesake, was hyperactive until probably 10 years. And this one is, okay, look, Ginger, come here. Come on. Okay, okay, you can give me a kiss, but turn around and, Ginger, turn around, look. Ginger, hey, look at this. Ginger, be obedient. Ginger, come on, please. Ginger, okay, I love you, I know you do. Okay, now, Ginger, I have to talk to Chris, okay? Sometime you can come play with her, but in the meantime, I want you to go sit down, okay? I do love you, Ginger, but I have something important to talk about. I know it's about you, but go sit down. Come on, please. Good doggy. Sit down. Now she's going to go pout. But, I mean, I didn't do that on purpose, but that's an example. If you were to come to the house right now, she would be bonkers. I mean, she wouldn't know how to bite you if your life depended on it, but she wants to play. Ginger, please, go sit down, please. I'll play with you later. And this is where I feel guilty about, here's somebody that does love me, and and so, good doggy, good poo dog. You are a good doggy. Now she's laying down looking at me like, wish she'd get off this. But getting an Irish setter is not a date bait. You know what I mean? You don't, I don't know why people would get a dog as a date bait, but if you were going to get one, you wouldn't get an Irish setter. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that, I mean, I told you an hour ago that there were 2 different kinds of loneliness. One, and it really hurts me more, my family, and the kind of the personal loneliness. would be nice, but it would be nice to be a multimillionaire. It would be nice to be even younger and more handsome than I am, and you know, I'd like to interview Aung San Suu Kyi, and Chris, there are lots of things I'd like to do, and some of them I'm not going to do, and so what? And who screwed it all up? Huh? And I was thinking about when a year ago, a year and a month ago, when I got my first birthday card from you. I mean, I blankety blank tried, and I blankety blank failed. I irritated some guy who hung up the second or third time I called, trying to explain what I was doing. And I figured it was Tim, so I'm not going to get you in trouble. I just back off. And for a year, this card sat on my little box on the counter of my kitchen, and I often looked at it, and I called the church, and they didn't know. Betty, I can't remember my secretary's name, Betty, she lives in 44. Had she still been there, I mean, that was 4 years ago, and she was older than I was, so she's gone. Betty, I can't remember her name. I said that, she would have looked at it, and she would have been out finding it for your address or telephone number. And this is the thing about when I got the second birthday card and you had your telephone number on it, that indicated to me that this wasn't just some touch base with sometime kind of common. And I think I went beyond the pale. You know what the phrase "beyond the pale" means? and it came, at least some traditions say, it came from Edinburgh, Scotland, where I went to school. And that was beyond the pale was mean beyond the kind of the walled city, out in the sticks. It was beyond the pale, it was out in nowhere. So you and then and so I didn't want to jump too much, but I wanted to jump. Then I told you about TT and then sending it to you on Valentine's Day. I thought, I'm going to act like it blanky blank to you, and okay, I couldn't stop myself. I did it. And I discovered that you sent me, quote unquote, a Valentine card. And so if I were you, I would be wondering, here's Camel telling me he doesn't really give a you-know-what about dating. Well, before I get there, remember, I'm going to say something. And it'll be, if I don't know how much you've read on my webpage, but it's all there. I was born, and interestingly, God, it's a hot, I mean, this stuff is just, I was born in January 20th, 1943. And I was, you know, I don't think, I don't know. I wasn't there. My parents both gone, so can't get the date. But I was baptized in a Presbyterian church in El Paso, Texas, just before my father was sent overseas to the South Pacific. So I couldn't have been, I could not have been a month old. My mother must have taken a bus from Philadelphia to El Paso, Texas with an infant. And she obviously she wanted to say goodbye to her husband, who she might not see again. And wanted him to see his firstborn. He went to Saipan, Imajimu, Okinawa, and came back in one piece. And then it wasn't too long before my mother was expecting my middle brother, and he didn't go to college because he had one that was a toddler, and another one was, on the way or soon to be. So he went to work, and he was left-brained. He would make a great, he was drafted as a private and left the military as a major. So he was gung-ho in a very orderly, he did things by the book, and if it didn't, So when he went to, he did a good job at Johnson Higgins in Philadelphia, and it was an insurance company for big corporations. And then he was promoted to a vice president in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And he was one of those people who, after World War II, started the outward migration away from hometown. And that explains a little bit about who I am also. I want to go back home again. And sometime when you come here, I'll show you things that go back to my home life, back in Pittsburgh, back in Pennsauken. But I went to Pittsburgh, I'm cutting this short, said to a realtor, where's the best school system in the area? And the guy said, Mount Lebanon. And it was. It was the 19th best school system in the entire country. And it was the richest community in western Pennsylvania. And I learned two things in Mount Lebanon. One was I was dumb, and two, I was poor. It took me half my life to realize that I had made a mistake. And it was when I was getting my doctorate at McCormick. I mean, there are other people who told me I was making a mistake. But when I went to McCormick, I think there were like 9 classes, on your thesis, I don't remember. But the first class I took, turned in my paper, and I got an A. What the hell? The second one, I got an A. The third one, I got an A. And then I started thinking, maybe I ain't as dumb as I thought I was. You know, I would get a couple A's in college and grad school and high school and a couple B's, but mostly C's. Mostly C's in Mount Lebanon were mostly A or B in the rest of the world. But I didn't get it. And that had a profound effect upon me. I'm still teaching. Now I'm still teaching for two reasons. One is I need the money, but the first reason, and the part of the reason that my ex left, was that she said, well, get over feeling dumb. You know you're not dumb. And I said, but other students still think they're dumb, many of them, and I'm not going to have that. And that was one of the things that she didn't like, and that was not the major one, but that was one of the bitches that she had raised with me. And, you know, and again, I don't know how much you read about, but TT, I don't like laptops. I have two large screen monitors, and if I had the money, I mean, I have the money, but I don't want to utilize that money for larger screens, but if I had, I would get three larger screens. But I have a laptop, and the only reason I used a laptop was to download my photos from travels, and put it on my laptop. And then I have an external hard drive called my passport that I download them as a backup to my computer or my laptop. When I come home, I download them, either one of those, to my hard drive, and then I put my laptop up on my bookshelf. The last day I was, or not the last day, a couple of days before I left Myanmar, I said to TT, I don't like these things, laptop, and I have a choice. I'm going to either take it home and not use it, or I'm going to give it to you and you're going to use it. She's helping me on my webpage. She's my assistant web administrator. I said, you know, this was just before I went to bed, or she went to bed that night before I left, and it was 2 nights before. And I said, you know, tomorrow when you get up, you can talk to your parents about how you get an email address and all that kind of stuff. And next morning, I come by. I'm in a hotel down the street. Come by, and she says, I'll have my email address. She says, when you get home, you don't want to write emails back.